Good afternoon, Seawolves, and welcome back to another edition of the Stony Brook Media Group. I'm Adrienne Esposito.
And I'm Kaden Muse. We have a lot to cover today. Breaking news this morning, shortly after 10:20 a.m., an earthquake could be felt by residents across New York. It was also reportedly felt by residents in Philadelphia, Connecticut, and as far as Boston. According to sources, it was confirmed to be a 4.8 magnitude earthquake, with the epicenter being in New Jersey. No injuries or fatalities have been reported. Many people who live in these areas took to social media to question what happened. News sources confirmed their curiosity. New York Governor Kathy Hochul took to X, formerly known as Twitter, to put a statement saying, "My team is assessing impacts and any damage that may have occurred, and we will update the public throughout the day." Stony Brook University Police has since notified the students that if there has been any injuries or damage, that they should notify campus police at 631-632-3333.
Major League Baseball just kicked off its opening week in 2024 with varying results from our hometown teams. So far, the Mets are 1-5 with a win over the Tigers and 5 losses, all at home. The Yankees, however, have been on a roll on the road, going 6-1 this week. The team's home opener today at Yankee Stadium against the Toronto Blue Jays will be celebrated with both the American National Anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner, and the Canadian National Anthem, O Canada. O Canada will be sung by Canadian actor and musician Noah Reid, while the ceremonial first pitch will be thrown by Paul O'Neill, a former Yankees outfielder. This coming Monday, the team has delayed its game time due to the upcoming solar eclipse. Now on to Katen for more about the eclipse.
I can't wait to see the Yankees play again. Next Monday, a total solar eclipse will grace the skies of North America. It will be the last total solar eclipse until 2044. If you plan to watch the eclipse, make sure you have appropriate eyewear, as it is dangerous to gaze at the sun for more than a few seconds. Even sunglasses are not enough. Special eclipse viewing glasses are needed to avoid eye injury. Long Island will not experience totality, but part of the eclipse can still be seen right here at Stony Brook. So if the skies are clear, Long Island will be able to see 88% of the eclipse. So will you be watching the solar eclipse this Monday?
Only if I have my safety glasses. Now let's head over to Political Corner with Sky Crabtree.
Thanks, Adrienne. Florida's Supreme Court has voted to uphold a 15-week abortion ban, though residents will be able to vote on a proposed amendment in November that will make the right to abortion part of the state's constitution. The court's decision also means the 6-week abortion ban signed by Governor Ron DeSantis last year will go into effect. Democrats slammed the ruling, while also praising the court's decision to allow Florida residents to vote on the issue, and Republicans had the opposite sentiment. After the ruling, Republican attorneys claimed that the ballot language was confusing and meant to mislead voters. The court's Chief Justice, Carlos Muniz, said that the people of Florida aren't stupid in response. And primary election results are continuing to roll in across the United States. In New York, both Trump and Biden easily secured their respective parties' vote. The same scenario played out in Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Wisconsin, though Biden continues to face a push to vote uncommitted in primaries due to dissatisfaction with how he has handled the Israel-Hamas war. In Wisconsin, 8.3% of their voters cast their ballots as uncommitted. In Rhode Island and Connecticut, over 10% of voters voted uncommitted. And the primary elections are wrapping up across the United States, which will leave the final showdown for the presidency to take place between Trump and Biden this fall. And international pressure is growing on Israel to scale back its campaign in Gaza, including from the United States. Following the deaths of 7 aid workers in Gaza at the hands of the Israeli Defense Forces, Biden held a call with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in which he said that Israel must take immediate steps to curb the deaths of civilians and aid workers. Despite this, Biden has shown no intention so far to scale back the billions the U.S. gives to Israel in military aid every year. Israel has so far responded to the pressure by vowing to open more aid routes into Gaza. And that's all our stories for this week. Tune in to the next show for continued coverage of United States politics. Once again, I'm Sky Crabtree, and this has been the Political Corner.
Thanks, Guy. Now, let's see how the cherry blossoms bloom this season with our own reporter, Zoe Busowitz.
Washington, D.C.'s cherry blossom trees were gifted to the United States from Japan, over 100 years ago. The cherry blossom trees, or in Japanese, sakura, are rich with cultural significance. Due to the short blooming period of cherry blossom trees, sakura in particular are seen as a reminder that life is beautiful and should be appreciated for the brief time we get to experience it. The annual National Cherry Blossom Festival had its sold-out opening ceremony on March 23rd. The ceremony included speeches by First Lady Dr. Jill Biden, Mayor of Washington, D.C. Muriel Bowser, and Japanese Ambassador Shigeo Yamada, and was interspersed with performances from Japanese-American artists in the Washington Ballet. But outside the doors of Warner Theater, the cherry blossom trees were facing harsh weather conditions. The first few days of the festival were marked by high winds and periods of rain, leading to flooding. Rising waters due to climate change often submerged the roots of the trees, threatening their ability to grow and sinking the land around the tidal basin. The Park Service plans to cut down about 150 sakura trees in order to build new seawalls engineered to withstand at least a century of rising sea levels, in an attempt to combat flooding and prevent further damage. Even though almost 300 more trees will be planted after the seawalls are built, the project is not without casualties, including one of Washington, D.C.'s most beloved.
The smallest of the cherry blossom trees along the tidal basin. Affectionately, we call them Stumpy.
Stumpy is a short, gnarled, and mostly rotted tree that, despite its ailments, still blooms with beautiful flowers every spring. Stumpy's reach extends far outside D.C., with people traveling from all over the country to witness the tree that defied all odds. But fans devastated about the nearing end of Stumpy's inspiring life will be pleased to hear that clippings from the famous tree will propagate new sakura trees, ensuring that Stumpy's legacy will live on through its children. The month-long National Cherry Blossom Festival is a beautiful celebration of culture, friendship, and international cooperation that promises fun for the entire family. There's still time to take a trip to DC and catch an upcoming event like Petalpalooza or the Kite Festival, pet some dogs at the designated Paws for Petals area, witness Stumpy's last hurrah, or simply appreciate the beauty of sakura and the first days of spring.
Wow, those cherry blossoms look absolutely gorgeous. Don't you agree, Kaiten?
Yes, I love them. I'm so excited to see them bloom here on campus.
Me too. Next, we have Maya Duclay letting us know what's happening in the realm of science and technology.
Thanks, Adrian. U.S. health officials warn of a 2024 measles outbreak with reported cases across 17 states. The airborne virus was eradicated in 2002. 9 out of 10 unvaccinated people who come in contact with the virus will contract measles. The CDC advises everyone to get vaccinated to protect against the virus. Medical professionals are warning people about the highly contagious nature of the virus that can be transmitted mainly through coughing and sneezing by a contaminated person. This year, there have been 97 cases of measles, which exceeds the total number of cases in 2023. The first living recipient of a genetically modified pig kidney was released from the hospital on Wednesday. This came only 18 days after the groundbreaking operation. 62-year-old Rick Slayman was fighting end-stage kidney disease and undergoing dialysis for 7 years. Just over a year ago, he received a donor kidney, which eventually failed. In a statement posted on X, the Massachusetts General Hospital says he is recovering well and will continue to recuperate at home with his family. Now, we have Christopher Yang reporting on another Provos Lecture.
This past week, students, professors, and visitors alike gathered today to hear the 4th Provos Lecture series, in which the latest research from SUNY distinguished professors are showcased. The event first started off with remarks by Carl Lejue, Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs, who commented on the importance of this event. He then introduced one of the speakers, Christopher Gobler, as SUNY Distinguished Professor and Endowed Chair of Coastal Ecology and Conservation. Gobler lectured about his research on algae blooms and their effect on the Long Island marine ecosystem. Large-scale algae blooms create a phenomenon called the brown tide that ruins marine ecosystems, making normally blue bodies of water brown. The brown tide infects marine animals and blocks sunlight, and has heavily impacted Long Island alongside other marine areas around the world. Gobler decided to do this research as a Long Island native growing up in a nearby town of Port Jefferson. Gobler mentioned that the Long Island shellfish economy was greatly impacted by the brown tide by the time Gobler attended Stony Brook, and that the Stony Brook was the only university to do research on the brown tide at the time. Ever since, Gobler has done research in marine science, eventually becoming a SUNY Distinguished Professor for his work. Now, he works to improve marine and water quality all over Long Island, creating initiatives to help clean the Long Island Sound of algae blooms through the introduction of clams that eat algae. He ends his lecture with a loud round of applause and received questions. I asked if his research pertains to Roth Pond's algae blooms and how the upcoming Roth Regatta would be affected. Gobler responded with the assurance that his team is monitoring Roth Pond's algae levels and that the Roth Pond will be clean and safe to swim in by the time of Roth Regatta. The audience then applauded again. That's all from me from the 4th Provost Lectures. Have a great day, Seawolves.
Thanks so much for that, Chris. Now, let's hear from our international segment with Miriam Gerges.
Thanks, Kaden. A 7.4 magnitude earthquake hit Taiwan on Wednesday morning, making it the biggest earthquake on the island since 1999. The death toll is still rising, but at least 10 people have been killed, and thousands are reported to be injured, lost, or trapped under rubble from damaged buildings. Most of the people trapped are in hotels or activity centers near Taroko National Park. While rescue efforts have been complicated because of concerns about further risks of landslides and rockfalls due to the aftershocks, helicopters have been supplying food and water until people can be brought out. An American YouTuber, Addison Pierre Malouf, who was kidnapped by a gang leader in Haiti about 2 weeks ago, was released over the weekend. The State Department is advising Americans not to travel to Haiti after citing the violence and kidnappings there. Malouf was kidnapped on March 14th and shared on his social media platform that he was kidnapped by a rival gang leader and held in a, quote, concrete shack surrounded by barbed wire. Malouf was kidnapped along with his guide, Jean Sacre Sean Rubens, who is a Haitian journalist. Rubens shared that they were held at gunpoint and forced to record videos acting friendly with Joseph Wilson, a gang leader who is wanted in the United States in connection with the kidnapping of 16 Christian missionaries and their children who were held for ransom in 2021. Malouf's family paid a ransom to free him. Senegal's newest president took office on Tuesday, officially making him Africa's youngest elected president at age 44. Bassirou Diomaye Faye, a tax inspector and political rookie, promised systematic change and paying homage to the people killed, injured, and imprisoned in West Africa. Former President Macky Sall had previously canceled the election after citing irregularities at the Constitutional Council, but agreed to hold it after intense domestic and international pressure. President Faye beat Sall's hand-picked candidate and received more than 54% of the vote, despite only having 10 days to campaign after being released from jail. He was in jail on charges of defamation and contempt of court and was waiting for his trial, but was released due to the adoption of an amnesty law.
Now let's hear from Audrey Reynolds and Allison Luna with this week's Media Minute.
Welcome to the Media Minute, where you get all your updates on pop culture.
Sad news in the entertainment world, as Hollywood lost another talent, Chance Perdomo. The 27-year-old actor passed away over the weekend in a motorcycle accident in upstate New York. He was best known for his role as Ambrose Spellman on Netflix's Chilling Adventures of Sabrina and Andre Anderson on Prime's Gen V. Actors and colleagues have gone on to pay tribute to the late actor on social media, remembering his talent and character.
In lighter news, Weverse will be having its annual Weverse Con Festival. This year, the event will run from June 15th to the 16th. The event will be taking place in Korea, but they are hosting online streaming platforms as well. Some of the artists include Chu, 17, Boy Next Door, Le Seraphim, and Billy. You can purchase your tickets at the Weverse website.
On to music news. A K-pop group TXT made an appearance on The Kelly Clarkson Show, promoting their new single, Deja Vu. The song comes from their new album, Minisode 3, Tomorrow. The group is preparing for their next world tour starting this May, and you definitely don't want to miss this.
Dua Lipa shared a small teaser on her Instagram of her third upcoming album, Radical Optimism. In the post, the video stitches together shots of Dua laying down vocals, writing lyrics in a notebook, and jamming out to inaudible beats. The album is set to release on May 3rd.
And that's it for this week's edition of the Media Minute. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Now on to the world of sports with Christopher Schultz.
This weekend, the WWE is hosting its 40th annual WrestleMania event at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. The event will feature some prominent figures in the industry, including Logan Paul, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and Roman Reigns, who retained the Universal Championship at last year's event. In total, there will be 13 matches, including Reigns and The Rock versus fellow WWE stars, The American Nightmare, and Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins. The company has also reportedly reached out to recently retired Eagles center Jason Kelce for an appearance at the event and appears that he will be there in some capacity.
And that's all the updates we have for you this week. I'm Kaden Muse.
And I'm Adrian Esposito. Have an amazing weekend, Seawolves.